All right. All right. Good morning. I mean, it's hard to say because I got a UK friend. I got an Australian friend. And in Australia, it's 14 hours ahead. So Australia is interesting, right? Do you have an Australian friend? Are you in America? You know, they're on the opposite side of the globe. It's close because it's 11 o'clock at night there. So good morning here is you probably sleeping, and it's opposite. Plus the seasons. You know the Wiggles. You like the Wiggles? Do you know who the Wiggles are? Do you got kids? Medea's family something or other. I could try to find that movie scene where the guy he's standing there. She's God's kids. Like, do you know what you're getting into? She's God's kids. I think that's what it said. She God's kids. I was thinking today about being famous. Bob Maluga. Is Bob Maluga going to make an appearance? Bob Maluga rightfully pointed out, what kind of great leader do you? And so that, okay, but you're coming at it. I decided Bob Maluga can listen to it now or pop in here, whatever he's going to do. Maybe he won't. Who knows? I don't know. You know. But I figured down to some things like, is he really a bad guy? We don't know that yet, but I think so. All right. We got to at least talk to each other. Bob, I don't like you. Okay? Talk to me. I studied up on bullies a little bit. How do you handle a bully? I could talk about that depending if Bob gets in here. Goliath was a bully, conveniently enough. So today the lesson here is only a boy named David. A lot here. A lot to King David. I was thinking, well, let's see if I can keep thinking with one train of thought. If I'm famous, 32 million, Caesar kind of things. Then I can say something like, can somebody find me the book that I had in mind that I not had in mind, that was the very devotional book that this picture image and the story that I would have memorized as a 5-year-old kid or whatever it was that I can remember. I can remember being in the living room and we would do this. I mean, it wasn't, but it's distinctive. My mom, she gives me credit. You know, who knows me better than my mom? No one really. And she said, I think from the truth, I said this before, but I'm saying it again because we're talking about David, a man after God's own heart. She wasn't telling me as a mom just says, good job when you do crap, which isn't good, by the way. Tell the goddamn truth. New Psalm 1:1. It doesn't help. Patronize the word. It doesn't help to tell your kids that's a lie. Don't do that. But that aside, I think she was sincerely saying, and we've talked about it. Not that I talk to her now. We're in a fight. She said, "Yeah, you do have a heart after God." Thank you. I think I do. Okay. And it comes with damage. Like if there's a spiritual side, I don't know. Okay. But if there isn't genuineness, like I thought, is David, this is what I'm thinking. Like I tell you what I think. God help me to do it right with integrity and holiness. Okay. In Jesus' name, amen. Driving home. Lovely walk, friend. Well, the stuff we talk about. Told my other friend. Malfa. I had to alpha this conversation, and it was a B and it went to an A, and I'm thankful for that. Because of me, King David. Courageous. 5 stones. Takes on Goliath. Takes on Bob Maluga. I look back at the stats, and nobody liked my Jim Kirk. We'll see, but no-win situations. Alpha. Listen. if I was famous, bouncing around with ideas, then I can say something like, hey, and then Pastor Johnny kind of people, like, and then people will smile and, hey, yeah, engagement, like we got resources now. My name is Beta Rock. Together, we, you hear that? We, together, we. What's that mean? That means that you, okay? This isn't my show, okay? It is, in ways, language, human ability to speak and communicate, to get it right. But if I'm trying to, so many things I want to then I can say something like that, or I can say something like that, and then people start to hand me things, and thank you. Like I would be so ever so honored to actually be able to find that picture. I know the book, we'd have to talk. Message me on Facebook, It's broken right now, but I would like to have that book. I would like to see the story now from 45-year-old eyes. And the picture was great because I see the other pictures of David and Goliath, and it doesn't do it. The one that I found, I didn't study, I didn't go into this for hours. I have tried to find that devotional book. Where is it? But the picture that was here was pretty close to actually the one, except it was in color, the one that was in the devotional book. But like in that time, just so you know, like they had like a Bible story series or another more popular version of children's books, the more popular one. That's not it. This was this off-brand one. I don't know. I just haven't ever seen it anywhere else, and I can't Google it and I can't find it. Tried. But with the resources of 32 million, we're going to have people that'll find it. Why am I going to be a great leader, Bob Maluga? God willing. Because when you decide to be the president, then you get open, to what are the skeletons in closets and the greatest cleansing and investigation you can do into a person. I invite it. I tell you about it. Okay. Trust lives here. Lots of things here. Goliath was willing to die for his faith, I guess. He did die. When you're a warrior, I talk about going to the Hagerstown Boxing Club. There's something, words and actions, and to take a punch and to really be alpha even more. Studied Julius Caesar a little bit, and he did some troubling things. So I came across that picture of Tom Cruise. I have every once in a while. I tell you, they're my base alpha stories. The Last Samurai, long time. I'm the last damn Christian. And then Bob Maluga. If Bob Maluga comes back or whatever he's going to do, because he was around from before, and it took me by surprise, startled me, kind of set me off balance. The lesson itself, teaching Beta Rock message, it was, I like devil speak. I'm going to talk about that. But to the tact of Bob Maluga, to the heart of Beta Rock, to different things here, I decided, essentially, who knows? John 3:8 reigns. Whatever the wind does, we just go with it. I was thinking of that guy on ESPN. What's his name? Rush Limbaugh. I never listened to that guy, but he speaks his mind. Charles Barkley has found a happy place in life to speak his mind. He talked about Charles Barkley's a pretty reliable truth teller, right? Isn't that something? Okay. And he has a happy home on TNT, doesn't he? But Rush Limbaugh, he got fired from ESPN because ESPN is so, world cultism, they couldn't have the truth. Rush Limbaugh said something about, I think, Donovan McNabb being black or something. He did something where he shouldn't have, according to world cultism, and got fired like he was on. But he's a good voice, I think, to telling the truth. I think about these things. You want me to be your shepherd and pastor of life? Well, I'm uncontrollable. Okay. Yeah, you can know me. I can be trusted. Okay, there's a voice here. The sheep hear the shepherd and they know the voice. But you try to put me into some kind of ESPN box, I'll be like Rush Limbaugh. This ain't going to work here. Alpha, King David, ruddy and handsome. Am I handsome? God. Talk about the fibers of things that matter. I kind of have the idea that, listen, you see the wispies in my hair? Am I proud of them? You know, people, they think, and to be authentic. You like my glasses? I don't really like my glasses. In jail, the glasses have a story. I bought this pair of glasses one time that had the horsey on the side. What's that? Who does the polo? Okay. They were like a $200 and maybe $300 pair of frames. I don't know. Maybe they were definitely over 100. Good ones. And I don't care. I mean, I do. It's these words. I was thinking about words. Care. I don't, just like that. That was one of them. Need is another word. I was thinking about the Eskimos. You know, do you think like this? I said to this other guy, friend that I, a work friend from before, and a couple people keep saying this to me, you know, like you wouldn't believe the level of things that we think about is what they say. And then you go into a conversation, you start talking about the Phillies and the Red Sox. Like, I know your game here, I believe. Like, you do all this, but we're maneuvering inside of world cultism. Let's get to the holy good. Ooh, okay, but let's breathe into this. You can face rejection. You can face loss and losing your 401k, all these things. But are you going to be a warrior, Bob Maluga? I believe. See, I don't know. Okay. Maybe Bob Maluga can be redeemed. We don't know that yet. You got to tell the truth here. Bob Maluga, I think you're a piece of shit. I think I said that. Like, and then he said, that's not nice. So we're talking. Okay, but you're testing me, and that's okay. I thought, what would this, because this gets to things, and we're just bullies. We're going to talk about, I think we'll read the Bible story, in fact. I don't know if Bob Maluga's taunting me or not. I think, but I'm not sure. I did decide just to hear if Bob Maluga wants to come on and bully me for 40 years, okay, on my website, you know, what do I care about? Well, I care about going to Rome, okay? Is it my primary purpose? Nope. You hear me? If Bob Maluga wants to steal my show, so to speak, bully me for 40 years, ultimately, that's what he said, right? I thought you wanted to be heard, right? Primary and base. We're going to go with this, Bob. Test me and try me, and you will find a shepherd that you can trust. Not like you're a piece of shit, Pastor. You can't trust him, and you know it, right, Bob? Whoever you are listening besides Bob. Why? Because I've been. See, I said, you know, that from the Gladiators, like what's his name? Russell Crowe, whatever he is, Spartan, Spaniard, you know, whatever his real name is. He knew combat. So when he's sitting there ready to get his head chopped off, he's thinking about the dynamics. He's quiet, but he's put it all together, all the way down when he's deciding what to do and how to maneuver the emotion and how to maneuver the tactic. He had a plan in mind that he could think of like that because he was a master. He was a doctor, these words that we use, not a master. He's an honorary doctor because he knew, I don't know, how do we put terms to this? That's how I see myself. Okay. Honorary, whatever you want to say. I don't need a degree to tell. I was born to do this job. Bob Maluga, that's fine. You're just part of the story then. It's not this is my story. This is my song. Sure, there's elements here, but ultimately I'm a Calvinist transformed. This is God's show. And if Bob Maluga is going to come along here, I'm not going to resist what God is doing. You hear? You hear? Fine, Bob, what do you got to say? You got no agenda, Bob. Surprise. I do. Okay. But I don't. And that dynamic of language and the dynamic of reality matters to trust. It matters. I mean, Eskimos, language, need. The Eskimos, I think I heard this, or, however it went. They said, how many different varieties of the word snow? 60? Like, I don't know how many it was. Let's say it's 60. 60 ways to describe different types of snow. We just have one word. I'm going to try here. This is thoughts that were formulated in my head when I got back, because need is a very, very misused word. Okay? Can be. We need more words. And when I put in myself the position of America's pastor, king, and this kind of stuff, because then I become a voice that can speak into things that we don't just, like I said to my friend, like, we're not just, you and I are just talking here. You have to understand. I mean, I see myself as America's pastor. So this is stuff that I want 32 million people to. I'm not the guy that's what my one friend yesterday, a client friend, not my 12. He's not even on my list. I could put him, okay? I don't know. Think about that. Anyway, I know him as like a friend. I know him. He was my first client. And he bitched over the years, and I don't mean a negative, I mean a positive, because he was telling me again about a story in life where he was getting effed over by governmental types of things. And just the way he described it, this is why our nation is in an outrage, okay? He was like, this makes no sense, but it does, because he's paying enormous money because of a system that's broken. And then he just went through it. I mean, it wasn't that he didn't think about it. He went on to say, well, I could go to my state, because that's what he said. He said it was insurance related. So he was saying to the people at the Medicare place, like, this just doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm pissed, but I'm not violently mad to hurt you, but tell me what the fuck to do. I mean, and then he said, I didn't say fuck, but we gotta tell the truth, the goddamn truth. He was, okay? What do I do? This is injustice. They're like, you're right. The Medicare helpers were saying he was right. They said, write your congressman. See, that is the American way. And I'm saying, we are crazy. It's just gotten to this point. How long do countries last? 250 years? I mean, in history, dude, it just doesn't work. When are we going to learn from history and decide to submit to the Holy One? This reminds me, see this finger is straight. That is a pretty straight finger. We can do a 3. You got that on your phone now? Like this lady one time, I was like, how 360 can we? I play here because I am whole and holy. Okay. Straight. Thinking about a passage here. We're just going with the flow. All right. Is that okay? It's my show. I think about the passage. I haven't stumbled across it this morning. I forget what I was looking for, but Satan, listen, okay. Satan entered Judas. Satan entered Judas. Okay. There's a person that I'm troubled by, where I believe Satan entered this person. Saw it. A distinctive thing that I think about in this thing, I'll never forget this. I can't erase this. I can't erase the picture of David and Goliath. I can't erase this image, okay? To be confronted with Satan. Again, and I'm softening it here to say I don't know, because I don't talk like I do my best to say the best I can say. A lot of charismatic people, the Lord said, or or that was Satan. Like, hold on, Charlie. Let spiritual be what it is, but don't put that kind of authority into something you just don't know. But the sign that I was thinking about running yesterday, thinking about this because it troubles me. I mean, did that happen? Then what can happen? Could Judas be saved out of this? Calvin and all these ideas. Is Bob Maluga forever gone by God's design? But the finger was crooked. Okay. Pastors can be criticized, right? They say, be careful that finger you point at me because you got three. That's the stuff, the bullshit that I heard from bastard pastors a lot. Like the logs in your eyes, and that's all fine, but the Bible does allow space for judgment. Okay? I learned. Surprise. There's a place for judging. Biblically. There's definitely a place to checking out your own twigs and planks and logs and all the things that are in my eye. But look there, Baba. There ain't none left. God, help me. God, every moment, at some level, open my eyes so that I can see my falls, like my hair wispies. Okay? Pastors don't have a crooked finger. This person had a crooked finger, fire in the eyes. Huh. Ooh. Oh, God. 2 Timothy 2:25. May you perhaps, God, where does authority sit? God. Can I control you? No. Okay. Can I control anything? Can I control Bob Maluga? I can try. People can try to stop the coronavirus. How's that working out? God help us. That's my cry. That's the best cry that anybody can have. God help us. I mean, what could be better than that statement? To cry that from the depths. When I was coming home here, I was just listening to the Satan, 1975 it was. I think I might have had the date wrong when I said it before. MacArthur Vintage, 1975 on Satan. Listen again. Lost my train of thought. God help us. Oh, the arrogance of a heart. Are we arrogant as a nation and as a world? Yeah, of course. So, two things there in that prayer. Three words, but so fundamentally critical. God, acknowledging sovereignty. Help us. Acknowledging our need and our reliance and our cry. Join the club then, friends. From that platform, life begins. The new birth is here. The room with Jesus in the flip-flops is the vision that I had, okay? I thought about that the other day. Look, it's not a destination and we're done. It's the starting point of a life. Behind it then can be the chance then is like, look, dude, I got 5 stones. I'm going to take on Goliath. Huh. With the power of God behind me. Not in my strength, okay? All this gets done. I'm not worried about Bob Maluga. I'm not worried about Goliath. We're in a situation defined in terms. Before we get to the Bible, let me finish the thought about the need. I want you to hear this. We got 60 words to describe snow for the Eskimos. We got 1 word to describe need for English, Americans, or whatever, Look, there's a different kind of a need. Baderism and my voice to say, no, this is like, like we do this with love a little bit, right? Like love. Well, we got agape love, we got Philos love, we got Eros love. Fun. So, oh, you mean erotic. Okay, that means, okay. See, it clears the thing up a little. 3. Okay, we got 60 words for Eskimo snow. Do you think we could do better with love? Maybe? Probably. Words here. Wife. Special. What's it like to be divorced? How to operate in this here fallen world. Words become clear. Oh, you mean special, but not what? Yeah. What? We need a word for that besides need. But need is fundamental to faith and holiness. What do you need in life? You could ask Maslow and you're going to find sex. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. Okay. So when I say the word need, Charles Stanley preached once on sex. It was a need. No, okay. But it is in a way. So we need a word. So that, like in the 60-word way we have to describe snow, we need something more than a one-way word to describe need. Because if you need anything, I will grant food. Okay. I mean, in jail, we can joke, right? We got 3 hots, a pot, and a cot. Well, okay. But you don't need a cot, and you really don't need a pot. They're polite to give you that. But if you don't get food, you're going to pretty much die. So I would say that that is need. So, oh, like what do we need a word. Like that's Neapolis or Bob Maluga Luga Luga Luga. We need a word here to describe that kind of need, because when we use these words, yeah, we do have needs for social. Okay, the 8 dimensions of wellness. These are needs, but food's not even on that list. So you see, we need some snow Eskimo words to describe, because when somebody says need and they put it into that category of Neocolopolis, wait, no, like that's not it. And you need to definitely have a distinction between what you need, because right there sits the whole idea of idols. Anything that stands between you and the Almighty, okay? Careful, okay? That ain't no careful. What you spiritually need is to have that clarity cemented. Oh, yeah, you need to be on the Matthew 7, 24 and 25 rock. Otherwise, shit gonna get really bad. Eventually, 20 years, however long it takes, it's gonna, maybe you can make it to the end. And I said, to my friend, I've seen people die in sin. It's not like it's Calvin. That's it. It's out of my control. I'm breathing into a thing. But, okay, there's power here. Power. Wonder working power. Wonder working. Wonder. Alpha. Wonder. Women can be alpha too. I'm 99% sure of this. Okay, there's a difference between being submissive, holy reverent, and being confident. Okay. Alpha is a good thing for anybody. Okay, are we okay with this? My alpha comes from God. Not my strength. Bob, you want to steal my show? It's fine. Like, good luck. Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. So, Bob, Elisha, that was the one bully story that the one guy said. I didn't become an expert in bullies in the Bible, but I did do a little. I finally got down to GodQuestions.org, and they had some stuff to say that I didn't really like. Elisha, then they had some boys were making fun of him being bald. Okay. And then they had some bears come out and maul 42 of them. I think that was the story. I mean, okay. So, Bob, just beware. Okay. I'm not cursing you, because I don't know that I'm not cursing you, Bob. I'm curious. We do have a history. I think I know who you are. Anyway, are we okay with need? Need is a very, 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 very important word. Just like abased and abounding. We don't just throw one out. No, they're both here. They just need to have this order here. Need, yeah, you do need social, kind of. Not like you need food. Careful there, because if that need then justifies you to make it an idol, God is going to get really mad. You're violating the number one Ten Commandment. You're violating Jesus, friends. It's tight. That was another thing that came up in the MacArthur reminder. The holiness of God, it brought chills to my entire body as he was describing cherubim. He was saying cherubim are like the top angels. Describing this, it's giving me little chills now as I try to be a reflection of things that John MacArthur spoke so eloquently. You ought to download the YouTube. It's just fantastic. I've listened to it 2, 3, I want to keep digesting it. But the imagery that it might fade in the emotion now, but the imagery with just the most beautiful creatures. And I mean, how many times have these creatures been seen? It was like Sodom, and why don't we do this today? That kind of sucks. I'd like to see myself one of these angels. But when they were there, it was like so impressive. So he was just trying to breathe into the cherubim. We call our little kids cherubs. Look, we kind of profane God. We misuse this, right? See, okay. I'll tell you that, Bob, you're a piece of shit, and stand in confidence that I'm not violating the commandment. But when you call little kids, cute little kids with the chubby cheeks, a cherub, we're kind of violating things here. No, the cherubim, okay, are what he said are the protectors of God's holiness. Yeah, like this is it, okay? So careful now. When you start putting one of your needs in an inappropriate place in this order, God, he can't even help it. I mean, at some level, it's what he is. It's his essence. So it's not even a question of whether I'm just kind of giving words to how I process this. I don't know that it's altogether right, but I'm sharing it because I think it tries to give human words to the best we can to this. It's not that he can even stop it. You start effing around here, and you're going to get burned. He's got cherubim that protect his holiness. It's that powerful. You guys start humans thinking that we can start to F around and sin. No, like, it's bad. The way we think. Oh, really, my conversation with my friend left us at a divided point. It's like, that's your opinion, and I don't see it this way because she's thinking in a non-biblical sense. I mean, that's the bottom line. Maybe she'll listen, I don't. I am sola scriptura. That's it. So yeah, I'll come after you for trouble spots like, wearing coverings or holy kissing. I got to find a guy to holy kiss, or how, toughies, according to world cultism. But on the flip side of this, I'm speaking life into all the stuff that's in the garden that's just simply not the apple. I mean, I'm repeating myself here. But things like then too, where you step into things as alpha, like, whew, blameless. Whew, I'll take on Goliath, thank you very much. I'm ready. Oh, well, we kind of need somebody like you. Exactly. I mean, you hear me, Bob? I'm not a great leader yet. Do I got the capabilities? Do I got the 5 stones and I'm ready to fire? God help me. Yeah. All right, so what do we got? 1 Samuel 17, 1-58. Be helpful to not be in 2 Samuel, because that did not look like Goliath. 1 Samuel 17, 1-58. We got 34 minutes. 17, 1-58. How long is this? Let's do it. I like to be a silver-tongued pastor. But let's bore ourselves down for God's glory. Can we just be okay with this a little bit? Let's see how it goes. Oh, I think the whole story. I might be bored. You might be bored. But can we just allow for a space where we don't need to have our needs met a little? Okay. Can we allow our flesh to kind of have a little back seat here and just let the big dog eat a little? Okay. Bob Malou can come out at any time, so it'll be Bob Malou show if he shows up. Now the Philistines gathered their forces for war and assembled at Succoth in Judah. They pitched camp at whatever, between Succoth and this other place. Saul and the Israelites assembled and camped in the valley of Elah and drew up their battle line to meet the Philistines. Okay. The Philistines occupied one hill and the Israelites another in the valley between them. Okay, the land is set. This is where I'd like Bob Malou on one side. He's kind of coward, right? He's not Goliath. He's just interesting. Whatever happens. But this is traditional here. Like what's that show? Far and Away, not Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise too. That little kid draws the line. Stand to the line. Where's Bob? I'm here. But that's what happened. Here it's the right way. The battle lines are drawn. A champion named Goliath. What a name. Who was from Gath. That's cool. Came out of the Philistine camp. His height was real big. 6 cubits in a span, whatever that means. 9 feet, I don't know. Big. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt for how big. I mean, people 9 feet, I don't know. Big. Brad Pitt, okay? Listen to me. The last Christian, I said, last samurai, I'm just thinking about this. Why does God do this? When I think about my Psalm 139, 14 and 15, this is why I think it. I mean, why am I drawn to these movies? I don't know. You can think. At the beginning of Troy, the Brad Pitt one, he faces a Goliath, that guy that comes out of there, smiles. Yeah. Is he 9 feet? I don't know. I think there was notions of 9 feet. Can we allow that to simply be true, whether anybody is that way today or not? Can we just allow space for whatever did happen? Let the Bible be the Bible. 9 feet? I don't know. I don't know what the Bible people say here. Let's go with 9 feet then. Okay, 9 feet. He had a bronze helmet on his head and wore a coat of scale armor on the bronze weighing 5,000 shekels. And on his legs he wore bronze greaves, and a bronze javelin was slung on his back. His spear shaft was like a weaver's rod, and its iron point weighed 600 shekels. His shield bearer went ahead of him. Goliath stood and shouted to the ranks of the Philistines, "Why do you come out and line up for this battle?" Is this the best Bible story that's possibly out there? I like it. Okay. I don't know, but to color, and I don't know. How can you argue about Jesus dying on the cross? But I like this. Am I not a Philistine, and you are not the servants of Saul? Choose a man and have him come down to me. If he is able to fight and kill me, we will become your subjects. But if I overcome and kill him, you will become our subjects and serve us. Fine, that's terms. He's laying out the terms. Then the Philistines said, "This day I defy the armies of Israel. Give me a man, and let us fight each other." On hearing the Philistines' words, Saul and all the Israelites were dismayed and terrified. Okay. Bob Maluga. Why am I going to be a great leader? Because I'll fight Goliath. Now David was the son of an Ephrathite named Jesse, who was from Bethlehem in Judah, some faraway place, to a nice old man. Jesse had 8 sons, and in Saul's time he was very old. Jesse's 3 oldest sons had followed Saul to war. The first one was Eliab, the second Abinadab, and the third Shammah. Saul, I don't know how to pronounce these, but that's my guess. So if you listen and like, that's not how I say it, well, I tried. Okay. David was the youngest. The three oldest followed Saul, but David went back and forth from Saul and then to tend his father's sheep at Bethlehem. I've heard the story before. Okay, but here we go again, refreshing it in my mind. This is a little long. Okay, are we okay? I'm entertained a little. Okay. For 40 days, the Philistine came forward every morning and evening and took his stand. Now Jesse said to his son David, take the ephah of roasted grain and these 10 loaves of bread to your brothers and hurry to their camp. Take along these 10 cheeses to the commander of their unit. See how your brothers are and bring back some assurance from them. Okay, supporting them, concerned. They are with Saul and all the men of Israel in the valley of Elah fighting against the Philistines. I think we got ourselves a proud papa. Early in the morning, David left the flock in the care of a shepherd, loaded up and set out as Jesse had directed his dad. He reached the camp as the army was going out to its battle positions, shouting the war cry. So they're shouting the war cry, but they were dismayed and afraid. Okay, so this is kind of bullshit, but we're trying. We're Pharisees. I get that. Israel, I'm going to sing the songs. Oh, I'm going to sing and praise God. That's what Bob Maluga said. I don't know if I believe him, but he said, I love Jesus. Oh, yeah. Okay, you can die. You can bleed. David left his things with the keeper of... I'm having an attack against Bob Maluga, and he's not defending. I'm loving him. Talking to him. David left his things with the keeper of supplies, ran to the battle lines, and asked his brothers how they were. He did what he was told. Plus, I bet he's kind of interested. Like, Daddy likes this, and this, I got a fire here. And I get that I'm 8th or whatever, but... As he was talking to them, Goliath, the Philistine champion from Gath, stepped out from his lines and shouted his usual defiance, and David heard it. Do Pharisees really tell you the whole story? Dad, we were shouting a war cry. That's what David might have heard, huh? But then when he was there in person, when his feet were on the ground, he got another part of the story that the brothers might have left out. I don't know. Comes to mind. And David heard it. Whenever the Israelites saw the man, they all fled from him in great fear. Okay. Now the Israelites had been saying, do you see how this man keeps coming out? He comes out to defy Israel. The king will give great wealth to the man who kills him. Heaven forbid the bastard pastors fight their own battles. That's what Troy says. I have to watch Spartacus again, but I'm pretty sure that was it. Spartacus was in the front lines. It is important to be a real good king, Bob Maluga. Real good kings. Well, I'm saying I should be not elected for 4-year damn terms. No, but for the rest of my 75 years on this planet. Good kings are good. You don't want to kick them out. As he was talking with them, Goliath, the Philistine champion of Gath, I'm repeating this, let's see. Great wealth, okay. He will also give him his daughter in marriage. Okay, so there's a planted seed of lust. That's the other side of David that I definitely got too. Damn it, okay. And will exempt his family from taxes in Israel. Greed? Oh, I got some of that. Oh, God. A man after God's own heart. Okay, but true. David. You see that? Maybe. David asked the men standing near him, what will be done for the man who kills this Philistine and removes this disgrace from Israel? Who is the uncircumcised Philistine? See how he's talking tough. That he should defy the armies of the living God. They repeated to him what they had been saying and told him, "This is what will be done for the man who kills him." Okay. He confirmed it. So I get some booty. I don't know. That when Eliab, I don't know, okay? David's oldest brother heard him speaking with the men. He burned with anger at him and asked, "Why have you come down here? And with whom did you leave those few sheep in the wilderness?" Okay, so I was confused there. When Eliab, David's oldest brother, heard him, so he was angry at David. He was angry. I was thinking this was David's anger. Nope, it's the brother. "Why do you come down here, and with whom do you leave these few sheep in the wilderness? I know how conceited you are. People have told me that I am narcissistic." Oh my God. You and how wicked your heart is. I've heard that. The devil accused me of this. You came down here to watch the battle. Oh yeah, I didn't come to watch. Bob. "Now, what have I done?" said David. "Can I even speak?" He then turned away to someone else and brought up the same matter, and the men answered him as before. What David said was overheard and reported to Saul, and Saul sent for him. Okay, so we don't know what he said, but I just wanted to make sure. So I think he told him, but they didn't say this. And now we find out what he said. So he was saying here, I'll take him. Okay. David said to Saul, "Let no one lose heart on account of this Philistine. Your servant will go and fight him." Okay. Saul replied, "You are not able to go out against this Philistine and fight him. You are only a young man, and he has been a warrior from his youth." But David said to Saul, "Your servant has been keeping his father's sheep. When a lion or bear came and carried off a sheep from the flock, I went after it, struck it, and rescued the sheep from its mouth. When it turned on me, I seized it by its hair, struck it, and killed it." Surprised when it turned on me. So he's telling the truth here. He's got skill and passion, commitment to death. Plus he knows. When I hear this, I see a clunky old man that I can throw a fastball in the lower outside corner. He ain't going to touch it, okay? David not worried. Just like the gladiator. He's got 7 steps ahead of you. He knows you're going to go for that sword and it's going to stick. Your servant has killed both the lion and the bear. This uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them because he defies the armies of the living God. The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine. Saul, the Lord. Okay, David's got skill, but he's Calvinist. Saul said to David, "Go and the Lord be with you." I think, speaking into things that I've avoided a little, largely, I think in spirit that's what my grandpa's saying to me and my parents. We don't got the balls, but you go. You're right. Then Saul dressed David in his own tunic. He put a coat of armor on him and a bronze helmet on his head. David fastened on the sword over the tunic and tried walking around because he was not used to them. I could comment to that to my story, but there we go. I cannot go in these, he said to Saul, because I am not used to them. So he took them off. Then did he lie? I don't think he wanted them. Dude, I got 5 stones. I need to be able to swing here. I can't. This is not my game. Then he took his staff in his hand, chose 5 smooth stones from the stream, put them in the pouch of his shepherd's bag, with his sling in his hand, approached Philistine. Meanwhile, the Philistine was with his shield bearer in front of him, kept coming closer to David. That is how a battle should go. This friend and I was walking on today. See, I mean, there's just different. This comes to mind. Hey, look, if you get to know me, I mean, I say the most precious things relationally to be fully known and fully loved. Are you listening, Bob? I mean, whoever. I don't, Bob. This is for normal people, okay? To be fully known and fully loved. I advance here. Okay, I've seen what that relationship looks like down the way. When I invite you to say, have you been heard? Okay, well, you have to talk. I know, I'm trusting that I know that you want it. Okay, but in this becomes a true, oh my God, I was saying this morning in the conversation, and this friend and I are tight, okay? We love each other, okay? And you talk into this, and I don't want to get into everything that we were saying. One thing was basically like, you got to love the person no matter what they do, okay? That's your job. If you make it, but to reality in relationship, there's a rejection reality, okay? But we advance here. To get to the goods, you got to advance. You got to advance. Bob Maluga, you got to advance to get to the goods. Shield bearer. We're learning something. David's learning something, right? He needs a shield bearer. Okay, well now I'm even more sure I can blaze a fastball on the outside corner. This is no game here. I brought 5 stones, but I think I'm just gonna need 1. Okay. I sized him up. Okay. This is just what's coming out of me. I've never heard a pastor say it like this. God help me that it's the holy word of God. Spirit of God. I thought maybe I'll need 5. Now I need 1. He looked David over and saw that he was little more than a boy, glowing with health and handsome, and he despised him. Do I glow with health and handsome? I sure hope the lovely lady in her. Okay. There's a good place for agape love. Anything more becomes books that we write, lovelies. Okay. God help us here. You see? He said to David, am I a dog and you come at me with sticks? And the Philistine cursed David by his gods. Come here, he said, and I'll give your flesh to the birds and the wild animals. And I'd be thinking, you can say what you want. See, I mean, baseball has some analogies here. Sometimes I lost battles because I wasn't ready. David said to the Philistine, you come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and I will strike you down and cut off your head. He stabbed him in the front. Okay. Told him what he was going to do. Honor. Is there an honor? There's an honor here. This ain't a surprise attack. I'm telling you, could have he said, do you want out now? I don't know. What's going on here? But I'm just telling you my feelings about this. Being stabbed in the back is different than being killed in the front. He could have changed Goliath. Calvin. This very day I will give the carcasses of the Philistine army to the birds and the wild animals in the whole world. King of the world, I say. will know that there is a God in Israel. All those gathered here will know that it is not by sword or spear that the Lord saves, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give all of you into our hands. I'm troubled, okay, but taught. I'm breathing something here. The army of God. What is the sword? I thought it was the word. No, the word is the belt, okay? That's the core. I don't hear it so much now, but the core, or the washboard app, so much centers here. So that okay. The Bible is the core, okay? I don't want a damn spirit. That's the sword. We're fighting with a sword of nothing. But are we, Bob? The Lord saves. I'm a good stone thrower. I want to do it. I want to beat Goliath. David, oh, paradox. Look, I'm telling you a story. As the Philistine moved closer to attack him, David ran quickly toward the battle line to meet him. All right, we're on. Reaching into his bag and taking out a stone, he slung it and struck the Philistine on the forehead. The stone sank into his forehead and he fell face down to the ground. Done. Okay. So David triumphed over the Philistine with a sling and a stone without a sword in his hand, and he struck down the Philistine and killed him. David ran and stood over him. He took hold of the Philistine's sword and drew it from the sheath. After he killed him, he cut off his head with the sword. When the Philistines saw that their hero was dead, they turned and ran. Then the men of Israel, it only takes one. Divorce in America. It's my show. Look, it only takes one. One. Tell the goddamn truth. Jail or hell. Hebrews 10, 26 to 31. 1 Peter 3, Ephesians 5. Ma. 5 smooth stones. What's the sword? Nothing. Spirit. Whose battle is this? God's. Bob Maluga, you got the floor. Then the men of Israel and Judah surged forward with a shout and pursued the Philistines to the entrance of Gath and to the gates of Ekron. Just saying, that Star Wars movie. Okay, there's all the Pharisees. I guess maybe they can help now. Okay. Thanks for not helping to fight Goliath. Their dead were strewn among the road to Gath and Ekron. When the Israelites returned from chasing the Philistines, they plundered their camp. David took the Philistine's head and brought it to Jerusalem. He put the Philistines' weapons in his own tent. As Saul watched David going out to meet the Philistine, he said to Abner, commander of the army, Abner, whose son is that young man? Abner replied, as surely as you live, your majesty, I do not know. The king said, find out whose son this young man is. As soon as David returned from killing the Philistine, Abner took him and brought him before Saul. And David still holding the Philistine's head. Whose son are you, young man? Saul asked him. Young man, young man, young man. We know about Saul and his kind of lack of alpha. Young man. Maybe he needed to be reverent, okay, and not condescending. David said, I am the son of your servant Jesse, Bethlehem. That is the word of the Lord. Are we done? Are we done? Lead, guide, and direct us. God of Israel, my King. In Jesus' name, amen. You have a right to be heard. My name's Beta Rock. Together we can change the world. John 3, the wind blows, and I follow it, and that's how I preach. What else we got on the list? Hebrews 10, 26 to 31, dealing with sin. Dealing with sin. Hamartia, to miss the mark in the smallest of ways. Lots of things fall into this category. And you're going to go to hell if you keep deciding to do wrong. You have an inalienable right to be heard. Bob didn't come back today, and that's fine. I'm happy with how this went. But he has a right to be heard, butthead and all. Maybe, I'm jabbing him here. We're sparring, okay? I love me, Bob. Closing. Are you ready to take a step of lordship and a full surrender? Are you ready to face Goliath? I mean, no matter what I'm in, 300 level. You know when I say 300, the movie with the strong guys? Are you ready to do this? I'll wait. This is what Beta Rock Church simply will be, because I believe that's the call of discipleship that God and Jesus ask us to put forward. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I'll change my tact. I'm not calling you to lordship because I want your life to suck. I'm calling you to lordship because it's right. It's wholly right with the cherubim around it. And once we get to this platform, Jesus says, put me first, Matthew 6:33, and I'll give you all these things. Like killing Goliath. It's kind of fun. Carry around heads and stuff all day. I did it.